So Thursday's class, take 2 or 3, depending on how you look at it. All right, so I'm just going to do a few word problems. Use equivalent ratios to solve the problems below. Remember words first. So what I mean by this is when you figure out using the words what two types of things are being compared, remember how we set them up first in the ratio with like the first letter of that word, just to make sure that we keep things in the correct order. So order is important for ratios. Here's what I mean. The ratio of students who like hockey to students who like baseball is 3 to 8. So it's important that we know that the 3 corresponds or goes with the hockey and the 8 corresponds with students. So we set it up off to the side like this first. Hockey, students that like hockey compared to students who like baseball. And then from there, we knew that the 3 went up top because that was the students that like hockey, and the 8 was in the denominator with baseball. So then when we read on, it tells us that 21 students like hockey. Now I know that I'm going to write an equivalent ratio, and that 21 must go with the students that like hockey. And since I already set it up with this H on top, I know that the 21 goes up there. So it wants to know how many students like baseball. So really, if I can just figure out what goes here, that will be the answer to the question. So with equivalent ratios, I know that I can multiply 3 times 7 to get 21. So if I do 8 times 7, this would be a 56. So when I answer, if it's a word problem, I want to answer with words. That those 56 students like, and I can also remember what they like, because if I look over here in the bottom, that's the B. So they like baseball. That's that. All right, let's look at a different one. How about this one? So at Freddy's Ready Teddy Bear Store, ooh, say that 5 times fast. Freddy's Ready Teddy Bear Store, not bad. You can get 6 bears for $20. Use equivalent ratios to determine how much it will cost for 9 bears. Okay, so I can see the ratio that they're giving me is 6 bears for $20. So I'm just going to come over here and put like B for bears over, I'll put a $sign for money. Okay, that just helps me know what numbers go where when I go to set up these ratios. So you can get 6 bears for $20. And then I'm going to write an equivalent ratio to figure out the cost for 9 bears. So it will make a difference. If you put the 9 in the wrong place, it will matter. So that's why I kind of set it up over here. So 9 is bears, so I know the 9 has to go right here. And then it makes sense that I'm looking for cost, so that's what the blank is. That's what I'm looking to find. So this one, again, is one where it's not really clear to me what to multiply 6 by to make it become a 9. So I'm going to look at the ratio that the 6 is a part of and see if I can write an equivalent ratio to this that will have like a more friendly number up here that I can do something to get 9. So when I notice 6 and 20, they're both even. So if I wanted to, I could divide both of them by 2. So that's what I'm going to do. So dividing by 2 obviously isn't going to jump me to the 9, but it is going to give me another ratio that might help me. So I'm going to below that, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. And I do now like the 9, how the 9 works with that. So I'm going to bring this down because now I can work with that. I know that 3 times 3 is 9. So if I multiply 10 times 3, that's going to give me a 30 down here. Okay? And I can write it there or there, but I have to know what that represents. So let's look back over what was down in the bottom. That was the money. So then I remind myself, oh yeah, that was supposed to be the cost of 9 bears. So my answer is $30 for 9 bears. Okay, just one more. Let's look at this one. The ratio of men to women at a track meet is 4 to 5. So what I'm comparing is men to women, and then 4 to 5. So 4 has to go with men, and 5 has to go with women. So clearly more women were at the track meet than men. That's what I can tell by those numbers. That's not the exact number of people that were at the meet. It's just the ratio that compares those two. So what else do they tell me? If there are 20 men at the meet, use equivalent ratios to determine how many people are at the meet. Okay, deal with that in a second, but let's take what they gave me. They gave me 20 men. So what I can do is make sure that I put the 20 where the men go in the numerator here. And I'm going to try to find this. Now, what this is, if I look over, that's the number of women at the meet, right? And that's not exactly what they wanted me to find, but it's going to get me closer to finding it. So my suggestion in math is find whatever you can find, because once you find that, you can use it to lead you to the next thing. So a lot of problems in math aren't just one step problems. There's multiple steps. So if you can find something, even if it's not what they're asking for, find it and then think about what you have from there, and then you can probably use that to go on further. So here I can see that 4 could get multiplied by 5, right, to get 20. So if I multiply 5 by 5, that will be an equivalent ratio. 5 times 5 is 25. So these are pretty important because that tells me what I just found, that at this track meet, they already told me that there were 20 men, and I just found out that there were 20 women. So now when I read the question again, and they want me to determine how many people are at the meet, that's the total, right? So there are 20 men plus 25 women. So I'm going to add those to get the total. So there were 45 people at the meet. Okay, hopefully that'll do.